asked about two things, and he was very concerned about a play that he has to play, or a role he has to play in a play by Shakespeare. I personally believe in Allah knows best. It is permissible to study English literature by studying different artists and so on, as long as that will help me to improve my English. But unfortunately, there are some literatures which are mere zina, adultery, and so on. So the professors should make certain that I would not teach something that spread or propagate what Allah has prohibited. Family incest in those stories. I can always learn English from any other source. Okay? I can also still learn English from Shakespeare if I read chapters which are clean. So the professors or the teachers are umana. They should be trustworthy. They are entrusted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to pass on the useful knowledge to generations after generation. We do still remember our teachers since our childhood. Those who left a fingerprint in our mind, in our behavior, in our attitude, in our dealing with people. Until we die, we will remember them in our dua. And there were some awful people who did not care the least about the deen. Did not care about what they spit out of their mouth, what they say, what they teach, what they instruct. So, if the part which you're talking about is legitimate, and for the purpose of learning and education, yes. But it is still important to point out that this kind of education is in order to learn English so that we communicate with the English speaker people, but is not in order to adopt their way of living and take the good and leave the filth. As we stated once, the Prophet ﷺ said, Al-hikmatu dallatul mu'min. So if there is a wisdom or a parable or a novel that is indigenous in this kind of work, I can take it, I can learn it, I can spread it. But I should be very selective and I should be very careful. And obviously that should be the task of the professors or the teachers. Similar to as we were studying chemistry, biochemistry, and physics and biology, that whenever we have to study about Darwinism, I believe that the teachers owed us an explanation to say, we're teaching you a theory, but it's a false theory, and the right thing is this and this and that. Because when you just say, I'm just teaching, my role is to teach the curriculum, without explaining what's right from what's wrong, this is not an amana. Then the person is betraying the trust that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala trusted him with.